the circumstances in a neighboring San Bernardino. I think what has happened in the nation, I think what happened internationally, I, as superintendent, am not going to take the chance with the life of a student.
The events of an otherwise normal day in Los Angeles have reverberated around the nation. Another reminder, as if we needed any, that schools remain one of the most vulnerable places for killers to strike at the heart of America, our kids. And when you add both sides in the current discussion of Muslims in America arming themselves, we have taken yet another step towards what threatens to be a dangerous flashpoint that could blow to levels any terrorist would be proud to have begun. Welcome back. The Defender of Liberty, heard weekday afternoons at 3 Central Time on 570 KLIF in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. Let's go around the dial with Grant Stinchfield. Grant, news coming out of Los Angeles earlier today just had me thinking that with those kids, the teachers, the parents around them, everybody, the traffic, 2 million people suddenly found themselves absolutely locked because of one email, one shot at terror. This is a new paradigm we're facing here, Grant. This is an entirely new world, and we better learn to live in it when they can paralyze us so easily.
Yeah, well, leave it to the California wussies to close down that school. Ed, this handed the terrorists a major victory. Whether this was a hoax email or not, it doesn't matter. Terrorists now think they can send an email, and we're going to send a million students back home. It's crazy. New
All right,
York,
but I'm going to take
umbrage
umbrage with that then, Grant. You and I are going to go at it here a little bit then.
Okay.
If one kid dies and if one kid suffers something because of this, then haven't you failed to protect people?
Well, so New York City didn't close down the schools. They had the same exact threat, and New York City and their police department, I will tell you, is one of the finest when it comes to terrorism investigations and fighting terrorism. And they said, this threat just is incredible. And if we let the terrorists dictate our lives by simply sending an email that says they're going to blow up a school, and we send 1 million kids home, we cannot live our lives like that. Now, if there's a credible threat, and look, L.A. even said, they didn't activate the LAPD SWAT teams or anything.
But they originally
said, hey,
did call it a credible threat, though. Those were in all the original reports. They said credible was the exact word.
Yeah, originally, and then they backed off it, basically saying, well, you know what, we couldn't really see what the threat was, but we didn't want to put any students in harm's way. And I get that. But the problem is, as you said, we live in a new paradigm right now. If we start letting, who knows, it could have been a high school kid in Pakistan that sent this email.
Well, there is a possibility because originally they
the
traced it back to Germany. They believe it may have originated in Germany. So yes, indeed, there is that possibility. So Grant, here's the thing that I'm trying to get to. Our schools are vulnerable more than any other place. Doesn't it behoove us now that if we're going to get involved in terror talk now and the debate involved presidential candidates, whatever, we have got to protect our children because that's the most important thing we can do, and we're not doing enough of it in our schools today.
No, we're not, Ed. And in fact, Texas passed a great law that allowed teachers to go into a voluntary program to get the training they need to actually arm themselves in the classroom. You want to protect yourselves against terrorists or a lone wolf gunman like we saw at Sandy Hook? Put guns in the hands of teachers.
But would you really trust the teachers, though, Grant? I mean, honestly now, and I'm a concealed weapon carrier. I am a gun owner. I don't know if I'd want to trust a lot of the teachers with weapons. I want professionals there.
Okay, Ed, so you're a concealed handgun license holder. Say you're teaching a class. Say you're teaching a journalism class. Do you feel comfortable enough to have that weapon on you? And if a terrorist comes,
I do, but not necessarily a lot of the people. I mean, I don't trust everybody to have it there. That's my point. Would you trust every teacher, though, to have a weapon?
No, that's why Texas's program is brilliant. It's voluntary. So it's only people that want to go into the program, want to get the training necessary. You're not just going to put weapons in the hands of teachers that are afraid of guns. You're going to put it in the hands of teachers that actually want to protect themselves and protect their students.
Okay,
because
then.
The bottom line is, if somebody comes calling, that's the only chance you have at survival.
I got you. About 20 seconds left, though. If you're going to have that, don't you still, though, need trained professionals to guard the schools and the children and the teachers, yes?
Yeah, the bottom line is, though, we can't afford as a nation to put cops in every single school across this nation. Now, in urban centers, of course, you're going to have more police officers in those schools than you're going to have in a suburb like South Lake, Texas. But look, anything you can do to fortify a school and make it safer for the kids, and I believe having somebody in that school, at least 1 or 2 teachers that are armed in case of an emergency, it will save lives in the end.
All right, Grant and I, one of these days we're going to go at it on his show. Grant Stinchfield, heard weekday afternoons, 570 KLIF in Dallas-Fort Worth. Grant, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes of news, The Hard Line, continues.